We're chatting with Lisa Goddard and with Nick Cater. Nick, I've got to ask you about energy policy in this country. I know it's a bugbear of mine. You've written about it in The Australian again today. It is madness what we're doing to this country, but also, as I discussed with Chris Mitchell, the way most of the media just seems to go along with these big lies. We're getting more and more expensive electricity and it's less and less reliable, but we're pretending this is the answer.
Well, that's right. I find it so frustrating, to be honest, Chris, that journalists are not asking Chris Bowen some straightforward questions. How are we going to get to zero emissions electricity using renewables, i.e. wind and solar alone, when no country in the entire world has done that? There are several dozen countries that have got close at net zero in terms of their electricity supply or close to net zero. All of them have done so using baseload power of hydro, nuclear or geothermal. We really have only got nuclear as an option here. We need to come back to that idea of baseload power. Do you remember before it was politically incorrect to talk about baseload power? We understood that we needed a baseload that was going to fulfil our minimum energy requirements reliably 24 hours a day, 7 days a week. And you can do that emissions free if you go to nuclear. So I just think the whole strategy is doomed to failure. And if we achieve it, which I don't think we will, it'll be a world first.
It has to be a world first. No one's been able to do it. We're pretending that we can lead the world here on this stuff, and it's going to be impossible. What kills me, Lisa, is the way the media handles this, right? The media's natural tendency is to exaggerate everything, right? That's you beat up stories. But when it comes to the problems with renewable energy, they underplay them. They don't interrogate it. They just think it's all going to be tickety-boo. But what they still like to exaggerate, of course, is the threat from global warming and the cries of doom from people like Greta Thunberg. Here she was out again now that she's finished school.
We're going to continue to protest every Friday because, this is only the beginning of the fight. The climate crisis is only getting worse, and all the other crises connected to it are also escalating, so it is our duty to speak up.
The crisis is only getting worse, Lisa, even though there's no evidence of that.
Yeah, I knew you were going to segue from one into this. Look, 251 days, 251 Fridays she spent out protesting. So it's not so much the future and the climate she has to worry about. What about the education? You know, she's graduated now, but she spent an awful lot of time outside of the classroom. And look, Chris, it's not over yet. She says she's going to continue being out there and protesting, just not as a student and not for the schools, leading the way for the world to go out there and not spend all those hours in classrooms where they should be, but out protesting. So we haven't seen the last of her, unfortunately.
What she's really saying is whatever she does, she has Fridays off. She's doing the 4-day work, so good on her. Even if she ends up being a coal miner in the future, she'll have Fridays off.